think he was in a cosplay cosplay bar or something, and he was using all kinds of words that Chris has told me off for using on his podcast. I was fuming. It's one rule for the Welsh and another for us too. We've got to be so good on this channel.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host Chris Broad, and we're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Dawson himself. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
I am very happy indeed. Chris, I'm pleased to announce that, you know me, I don't mind an alcoholic drink here and there. You may be drinking a Pocari Sweat once again this time round, but I do like a bit of booze here and there. I've just discovered, or rather somebody very kindly on Twitter let me know that there is a new Coolish that has alcohol in it.
Fuck, what?
A sorbet sort of monstrosity that basically is just, well, it's a sorbet sort of boozy. It's a boozy sorbet version of Coolish, I think it's fair to say.
Jesus.
It's like it's a drinkable ice cream. It's like a frozen margarita. I think it's lemon flavoured. It's 5% in alcohol, and it looks absolutely delicious. Thank you, Lotte Coolish. Thank you.
Is it chew high? Is it sake? Like, do you know what they put in it?
I don't really know, to be honest. It's like I mean, it's. I think it's been around for a little while. I'd have to inspect or maybe Google Translate the front, but it looks like a sort of lemon sorbet that's got a bit of an alcoholic kick to it, and also we've got a new canned sort of chew high kind of drink, Future Lemon Sour. I don't know what it's Asahi. Asahi does it. It's got a slice of lemon in it, Chris, in the can.
Oh my god!
You sort of cool. open up the can of the top of the can is like you can lift the whole top off rather than just a little bit of it, and inside an entire slice of lemon, Chris.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool. I saw recently that Strong Zero is in the UK now, but it's not as good.
Yes.
Apparently, have you had it? The UK version?
They've been importing it for a while, haven't they?
Oh,
There's no UK version. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that gopping mess.
my friend tried it, and he said that there was it was missing some alcohol or some flavour or something. It was a bit rubbish, but yeah, Strong Zero nonetheless.
Export. It must be a rare kind of situation where the export is weaker than the one you get in actual Japan, because like export lager is always like 6% and really strong, and you drink it if you live in your car, that sort of thing.
It'll be the same for Strong Zero. I do wonder, but yeah, because I worry that the Strong Zero here, it's so cheap, right? It's like 150 yen or something, maybe 120 yen, but it's a joke price, and yet you get so much bang for your buck. Like 2 cans of that, and you can really feel it. And I love when friends come over, I'm like, hey, have a try of this, mate. Get this down here, and they're like, hey, what is this orange beverage or whatever, and they drink it, and then after one can they're like, fuck, I can feel this is insane.
They're at the embassy. They're at the embassy remonstrating with an official. Get me home, I don't like this place.
It's a magical drink, and they still haven't outlawed it. There's been talk of them like banning or clamping down on chew-high drinks because the price point and the alcoholic content is absurd. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because right now ain't nothing happening. It's fine. You can still drink it. And
it's fine.
And I will.
It's broadly fine. Strong Zero, broadly fine. Chris Broad.
Broadly delicious. I did have one last night. I did have one. It was good. I had a good sleep. We got a story from Greg today. He says, hello guys, I was in Nagoya a few days ago. When travelling from the station to my hotel, my luggage broke. How does that happen? One of the wheels must have loosened because it just fell off somewhere along the route, leaving a hole in the bottom of my suitcase. When I saw what happened, I knew that I was in big trouble. I'd watched enough videos about how in Japan finding a bin can often mean a city-wide search. So I knew disposing of my large suitcase was not going to be an easy task. When I got to the hotel, one of the first things I did was talk with the receptionist about my problem. I was a little unlucky because the people working that day didn't know English, but it became clear very quickly this would be a problem. They didn't want to store the broken item, and although I offered to pay, they declined. Long story short, it took me several conversations and a stroke of good luck to sort it. I was lucky that I found a very nice Japanese man who told me that he would take it from me and dispose of it, though I didn't fully understand how or where. I was so relieved that I bought him some vodka as a thank you gift. Is there? I love the way the story doesn't allude as to who the man is, where the man came from. Did he just pop out of a cupboard like, "I'll take it"? Like, is there a way I could have disposed of this in an easier manner? I thought about just leaving it in the hotel or in one of the luggage storages you can find, but I don't want to be a baka gaijin. What would you have done? Cheers, Greg. Greg, I would have left it in the room, and I think everyone else would have, because hotels do have like industrial methods to get rid of waste, and a big suitcase isn't too much of an issue for them. In fact, I'm surprised they didn't take it. I do think if you ask most Japanese hotels, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, no problem, we'll take it and chuck it for you." So you just got lucky.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a little bit of confusion of the English-Japanese sort of thing that they sort of didn't figure out what was needed here. But I would just left it in the room, or I'll throw it into the street,
or eaten it. No, you would have
eaten it,
covered it in strawberry jam, and had a cheeky breakfast of suitcases, as the man did who took it. But yeah, I love a story that leaves out the important bit of the mystery man who took the suitcase.
Meeting a guy on the street going, "Can you get rid of the suitcase for me?" Then dragging him into a 7-Eleven and buying some cheap vodka. It just seems, I just don't know what is. Was this a man of the street? Was this a man who just was just boozy? I don't know how this kind of all works. It's amazing.
What I love is in the last episode, it was like Japan. What was it? Japan was ranked worst country in the world for helping strangers. And yet here we go, a man who'll literally take your suitcase. He'll take it all.
Does that count as helping strangers when you're giving him high-strength alcohol?
Yeah, well, true. He did get bequeathed some vodka as a gift. Yeah. Again, like, how did that interaction happen? Did Greg go, "Here's my suitcase. Wait there, though. I know just what you need right now." But now that you're taking my suitcase,
we all know what makes the world turn.
Smirnoff. Smirnoff, bottle of Smirnoff. What a weird interaction, my God. But again, if you have that problem, just leave it at the hotel, or go out into the street and just approach 20 people. Wait until a vodka drinking stranger.
Who? Want some booze? Want some booze? Who wants some booze?
Bloody hell. Brilliant. So back in February, I played the video game Ghost of Tsushima for the first time ever. It was the best game I've played in like 10 years, and the first game I've completed in 10 years. I couldn't stop, I couldn't get away from it. And I've been thinking ever since, it would be cool to go to Tsushima and, liberate the island from the Mongol invaders. Unfortunately, it's not the 13th century anymore, and there are no Mongol invaders, and it would just be me walking around Tsushima with a stick, threatening the locals. But Tsushima does have a little bit of a problem, and also Tsushima is a touchy subject when it comes to Japan-Korea relations. While Japan, it's part of Japan's territory, Korea maintains it should belong to Korea, even though I think historically, for a very, very long time, it has been part of Japan. We don't want to dwell on that, though. What we want to dwell on is that Japan has banned ill-mannered visitors, or more specifically, just Koreans, from entering the shrine. And I think it sort of revolves around that sort of animosity there, and the island debate that often happens between Korea, South Korea, and Japan, who are always still battling it out for islands in the Sea of Japan. What's going on, though, Pete? Fill us in.
Yeah, a shrine in Tsushima recently put up a sign saying Koreans are banned from entering following a string of complaints. A sign at the entrance reads, "Koreans are banned from entering," written in Hangul, obviously the writing discipline of the writing style of the old Korea. It's a popular destination for tourists, obviously, after the video game, but it is really close to South Korea, like you said. A priest at the shrine posted a video on X of a man smoking and littering in front of a Torii gate. Both actions are prohibited on the premises. The priest said that he confirmed that the man was indeed Korean. 90% of foreigners who visit Tsushima are Korean. I'm sure that's changing day to day. He also posted videos of a woman uttering the word jukbari, an ethnic slur against the Japanese people, and tourists singing and dancing on the back approach to the shrine. I mean, it's more kind of tourist menace, isn't it? It's more kind of Japanese people being absolutely scared of any kind of tourism. But it does go to show that it's not just kind of ill-mannered, pig-headed tourists from the West. It's kind of people who are just next door, I suppose, as well. But I would say it's just. I mean, you just can't do this. I mean, in any kind of developed society, you just can't do this. It's not
just
right.
can't do
It
it.
shouldn't be done. If you are letting people into your shrine, you kind of just have to take the rough with the smooth to a certain extent, and understand that these things will sometimes happen. You just kind of have to police it better. You have to have somebody on hand, I suppose, to explain that's not allowed, maybe security and stuff like that, and to stamp this sort of stuff out. But you cannot exclude people based on ethnicity. You should do it on beauty. Like I would do if I was in a church. Only hot babes in this church, please.
Dear God. I mean, I've just watched the video, and the guy's having a cigarette in the car park, and I think he drops the cigarette in some dirt, and yeah, I can see why this would piss people off.
It's hardly carving your name into an old door, though, is it?
No, I think Tsushima is definitely very sensitive to this sort of thing happening around its shrines. I think it's because of that animosity there as well. But the top comment on Twitter under the video, it says, "Abolish direct flights from Korea, have 24-hour security cameras, infrared cameras, and a network of shrines and temples nationwide, and establish a system to contact the police. 100,000 yen fine for littering cigarettes on the temple, a 3 million yen fine for spitting on the temple, etc., etc." So... But yeah, there's a lot of animosity there. The same sort of animosity we covered in Kyoto a few weeks ago with what went down over there. But don't fuck with temples and shrines. It's a great way to get people riled up. And I think on an island that is sensitive like that, and maybe Korean tourists are, a sort of a bit more likely to cause problems because they see it as not maybe Japanese territory or something. But again, I'm sure nearly everyone going there is fine and doesn't throw cigarettes into the dirt of the shrine and dick about. But it's an extraordinary measure though to put like Koreans banned from entering, perhaps. And to specifically target Korean tourists because I've met Koreans in Japan that have had a rough time being here historically, and there's all sorts of issues there. But East Asia, there's all sorts of things going on. All sorts of discrimination from all countries, and some mortifying conversations I have.
But fear of the other.
I don't know. There's I don't know where to even stand on this really, other than it's unfortunate, isn't it? Don't dick about at a shrine. Don't ring the bell too hard, as we saw in Kyoto. And that's it. That's the end of that.
Look after yourselves. Don't smoke tabs and stamp them out on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if you ever come to Japan, just don't be a dick at a shrine, because if anybody ever films you, God forbid, you're in a world of shit. But also, respect. You wouldn't dick about at a church in Europe or America, and you wouldn't want to do the same in Japan, right? So,
no, yeah. I would say the video of the man having a cigarette is just funny because it's just a man having a cigarette. I mean, out of all of like the transgressions that people have kind of perpetrated in and around Japan, it's really not up there. Like, he's having a tab. All right, fine. He stamps it out on the floor and walks off. But I mean, he's outside. He's not near any building.
That's the thing. He's in the car park. He's not actually in the shrine itself.
No, he's in a car park, for crying out loud.
I'm sure Japanese folks have gone to Korea to a shrine, had a smoke in a car park before, but don't know. It's I think because Tsushima is a very sensitive spot, that's why it's more of an issue there, perhaps. But that's another news story, isn't it? That over tourism shit. Fucking fed up of it and all that crap. Though I am working on a video on it that's going to be fun, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Again, 30 million tourists come to Japan. Literally, most of them are great and fine. And then, although to be fair, I don't think we're covering it in this one or maybe. But there was one of the fucking go-karts crashed. Of course, it did.
Yes, good stuff.
Shit, go-kart crap. Fuck, I hate them so much. Yeah. Everyone hates them when they drive past going like that on a nice quiet afternoon in Tokyo. You can watch the whole street go, oh, fuck's sake. Japanese, foreign, whoever they are, just go, oh, fucking hell. And of course, someone drove out in front of a taxi, crashed into a taxi. Oh, what a nightmare. So
I mean that was I thought those their days were numbered because nobody likes them, and it is kind of a sign of sort of American kind of like Western, like just excess, isn't it? And stupidity and just arrogance, making all that noise and driving around and just being needlessly dangerous and provocative. And I thought those would be banned ages ago, but they're still going.
Yeah,
Land of the free.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I don't think anybody likes them, and I'm amazed that they have not, given the crashes, I'm amazed they've not been outlawed yet in some way, shape or form. But enough ranting about that. But there you go, another crash on the go-karts. Woohoo. We're back in just a moment, guys, with your stories, comments and questions over in the fax machine.
Wow.
And we're back with the fax machine. What have we got this week? Mr. Dawson, fill us in.
Baljeezy from Kansas City. Hello, Chocolate Chris and Peanut Butter Pete. Chris, you've mentioned before about shrinking attention spans leading to the... You've mentioned before about shrinking. No, I was pretending I had a shrinking attention span, and I just kind of I'd lost my thread a little bit. Chris, you've mentioned before about shrinking attention spans leading to the rise of TikTok and YouTube Shorts. You've also expressed concerns about the future relevance of long format YouTube content. IRL streams often go on for hours, yet this type of content seems to be growing, with creators including some of your dearest friends Connor and American Pete jumping in. Why do you think long format YouTube is declining while streaming is gaining popularity? Thanks, Baljeezy from Kansas City.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't think streams have cannibalised YouTube. I've seen my videos continue to do well that are long form, and anybody's videos. I just think there's now more mediums competing for different for attention span. I personally cannot watch a live stream. I find them phenomenally boring. Occasionally there's some good ones, like Connor, Pete, they're great. I do enjoy watching like Pete, and I enjoy going on stream because you just sit there and drink and eat some steak. It's great. But I can't stand shorts. I debate about this with a lot of creators all the time, and I don't really like shorts. I don't see the point in packaging things up into 20 seconds and having no educational value. Like, that's your policy at swimming pools as well, though, isn't it? That's right. Don't package them up. You're a speedo man. Speedo. You want everyone to see everything. I mean, when you watch a short, you learn nothing. You just see a thing. You go, oh, yeah, next one. Next one. You learn nothing. You come away just wasting time. And I maintain they are absolute shit, but still marginally better than TikTok. Yeah, so I don't think YouTube's declining at all. I think what we've seen is, since COVID, numbers have been down across the board because people are going outdoors again. For the first time yesterday, I actually looked at the viewing figures for abroad in Japan over the last few years, and my God, during COVID, 2021, it was like a rocket ship of views. It was a magical
same with the podcast, though.
We need another pandemic, didn't it? Need another pandemic. Yeah, and also people wanted to go to Japan, so like it's kind of... People wanted to go to Japan, couldn't go to Japan, so your videos were a real kind of life force for people, I suppose. It was always going to be that way, and all of our podcasts kind of went down over COVID because obviously people were going outside and had other things to do. That's true. Actually, it was interesting. The podcast dropped, but the YouTube channel boomed. I think people needed that escapism. They wanted to put on the screen and disappear and try and get out of their room for a bit, escapism and whatnot. And yeah, but no, the Born Japan channel's doing pretty well at the moment, and I haven't seen a drop in relevance for long form YouTube content. Quite the opposite, actually, I'd say. Well, especially because like you say, IRL streams are often go on for hours. I mean, they do. Yeah. Somebody's mentioned like something in one of American Pete's stream, and it was like 10 hours. I was like, what the hell? Well, the thing is, if anyone I've ever met could keep an IRL stream going, good God, it's American Pete, because he just has that Trooper. Endless. I've got to slam these energy drinks now when you get to my age, and I believe me and Pete are relatively. Are me and Pete sort of the same age, cracking on the same age? I don't know. How old are you? Almost, kind of. You don't need to know that. 43. 43. Oh, you're 1 or 2 years older than him. Yeah, you're about the same. Right. Yeah, we're about the same. But his kind of enthusiasm and his the man just has effortless energy. Like he's just always got it, and he's just always got something to say. He's always entertaining. He's always got that's why his voice is hoarse all the time, because he works so bloody hard. He's a natural performer, and he's got ADHD galore, which he's able to utilise his affliction to entertain thousands, and I think it's a brilliant thing. I mean, I did say I was very furious that I was watching Connor. What was he doing? He was doing something with
Shibuya Kao, and she'd made him do something awful. Always doing something awful. I think he was in a cosplay cosplay bar or something, and he was using all kinds of words that Chris has told me off for using on this podcast. I was fuming. It's one rule for the Welsh and another for us too. We've got to be so good on this channel.
Keep those vocabulary in check, otherwise YouTube will demonetise us all. We've got one question here from Carl. He says, "Hello, Chris and Pete. After finding out I was a type 2 diabetic, I decided to turn my health around. I joked with a friend that if I lost over 45 kilograms, I'd go climb Mount Fuji, an idea born from watching your second climb video with Netski. Well, I've beaten diabetes and several other health issues, so at 43, the same age as Pete. Amazingly, I now find
Carl.
Amazingly, I now find myself prepping for a Fuji climb. Would you have any suggestions for a family mart trip the night before I meet my tour guide group, or should I pack water or Pocari Sweat? Any recommendations? Thanks for the video. All the best, Carl." Don't forget to get the photo, Carl, of Lawson nestled at the base of Mount Fuji, blockaded with a black sheet now. Yeah, I mean, I had a McDonald's in the morning, and that saw me through. So, you know, I would say
people slag off kind of McDonald's, but I can have a Big Mac meal, and that'll last me all day. I won't need to eat again. they're very filling, aren't they?
You make it sound like a charity, some sort of charity.
Yeah, like a soup kitchen.
They're doing great for humanity. I mean, I used to, before I did an exam, or had an exam as a university, I'd always dash to McDonald's, have a fulfilling McDonald's breakfast, muffins, the works, chicken nuggets, and I was good. And I flew through those exams. I nailed it. It's the McDonald's secret. I don't know if I'd recommend it for climbing Fuji, but have a big, hearty meal, both the night before and the morning of, and you should be good. And take a good few bottles of Pocari Sweat, as I have here today with me in the studio, because you'll need to stay very hydrated. Although, to be fair, Mount Fuji isn't that hot, so there's that going for you. When you get to the starting point, it's like 20 degrees because it's halfway up, so that's kind of nice. Actually, the coolest place in Japan for most of the summer months. It's quite jarring. We've got one last question from Scottish Sean, and he begins, "G'day, fellas. I'm moving home to Scotland from Australia in 3 weeks, and I've got a 24-hour stopover in Tokyo, which means I'm staying for one night only. What is a couple of whistle-stop things to do in 24 hours? I'm staying in Shinjuku. Cheerio, Sean." That's a pretty cool.
Sean's going to have a lot of stuff with him, isn't he?
That's a good one.
If he's coming home from Australia.
Go to every stop on the Yamanote line, isn't it? You can do it, Sean.
With all your stuff.
Do it. Or leave it in a locker. Leave it in a locker room when you do that. But
the more I think about this Yamanote line sort of thing, and I have done something similar, but I haven't stopped at every stop. It's such a good idea. I really want to do it. You're just not going to miss out on anything, are you? It's everything. I mean, everything in the middle you're going to miss out on, but there's nothing in the middle. That's why the Yamanote line's there, because all the interesting stuff is around the circle. So good.
It is true. I mean, if it was me, I don't know what I'd do, really. Go to Shinjuku, as you are. It's all about the food, isn't it? Because you can't get good Japanese food outside Japan, usually. So I'd have a bowl of ramen, I'd have some sushi, some Family Mart chicken. I would have a cheeky strong zero, stumble around in circles, job done. And maybe, Shinjuku's like really loud, in your face, crazy wild. Maybe get a bit of more traditional Japan, maybe hop over to like Asakusa and stumble around there as well. I feel like even though Asakusa's ridiculously busy, it's a nicer place to relax in an afternoon and stumble about compared to Shinjuku, right? Far less traffic. So maybe go there. Any actual good recommendations from you, Pete?
I do think you just make sure you absolutely load yourself up with caffeine, because there'll be nothing worse than kind of like missing out on. You can do your sleeping on your Japan to Heathrow and then Heathrow to wherever in Scotland that you live trip. So yeah, I would just load yourself up with caffeine, because these kind of little mini trips, you don't want to miss anything, and enjoy.
So don't go for
Have
the
fun.
culture. Don't go for culture.
No.
Don't go for experiences. Just drink some caffeine. Have your
Get
Monster
yourself
Energy.
a Boss coffee or some energy drink. Get it in you.
And grab some Kit Kats. People love that shit. The flavoured
Yes,
Kit
they
Kats
do.
from Don Quixote. If I was going to do like a quick shop before going home, it would always be Don Quixote. They've got it all.
Definitely.
Keep the questions, comments, stories coming into abroadjapanpodcast@gmail.com or right away in the comments below here on YouTube. But for now, guys, have yourself a great few days, and we'll see you right back here to do it all over again on the Abroad in Japan podcast. Bye for now.